just going to give a very brief introduction to our guest Jorge, who will explain much more about himself than I will. What year did you graduate?
1998.
Wow. So, and since then, as you will see, Jorge's gone on to do many varied and interesting things, proving himself a very successful musical entrepreneur. We're really happy to have him here today. He's very kindly offered to give you the benefit of all of his experience and expertise, and very pleased to welcome you, Jorge. Do come in. Without further ado.
2 years ago, in July 2021, I was in Spain, in the airport. And I was waiting for one of the most prolific and legendary Hollywood composers, an expert in horror. Some of his work include, Mitchell, could you dim the lights, please? Some of his work includes amazing classics such as Hellraiser, Drag Me to Hell, The Fly 2, Ghost Rider, Nosferatu, the 2022 remake. But he has also made some other incredible music scores, such as Spider-Man 3, Swordfish, Monkey King 1 and 2, The Cabinet of Curiosities, a Netflix TV series, and Echo 3 in Apple TV. Could you dim the lights back down? Thank you. His name is Christopher Young. Chris and I became friends some years back, and I would pick him up from the airport every time he came to Spain. So I picked him up and we were chatting along, and after a few coffees, he said to me, I still cannot understand why some musicians succeed and others fail. I have met hundreds of talented musicians and composers, and I still cannot get it why. Why some find success and why other incredibly talented musicians fail. So this really made me wonder, and for several months I reflected on this. I have read many top 10 rules of success, top traits of billionaires, the top 5 rules of success of Bruce Lee, be like water. I have heard Arnold Schwarzenegger saying, sleep faster. I have read a lot about this because I was interested in finding out why. And what I have realized is that the secret of success is not a secret. It's in the public domain. But then, if it's not a secret and you can find out easily how to have success, why doesn't everyone have success? Why it doesn't work on everyone? Why still the vast majority of musicians will fail, despite being incredibly talented? This means that the recipe of success doesn't work every time. So I thought there must be other dark and powerful forces that will actually work against you, that will make you fail despite all of your talent and your incredible dreams. Upon reflecting on my own experiences and the friends that I have met through the years, painters, sculptors, movie actors, script writers, 3D artists, I actually found these dark forces. And I have not found this information anywhere else in the internet. And I have really searched for this. So there are 3 dark forces that you will encounter as an artist. And I come to you today to tell you my story and to share what I consider the top three reasons why you will fail. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to follow a process. I'm not going to give you the 20 things that you have to do in order, how you have to execute them, your plan. No. I'm just going to tell you, don't do these three things. And I can bet my right arm that you will find success. How hard can it be? Just don't do these three things. My name is Jorge Lellis, and I'm a music composer. And just like you, I used to sit around here. I was studying music in this wonderful university. And that was 26 years ago, in 1997, if my maths are correct. And just like you, I was hungry to learn everything about music, music technology. I was determined to follow my passion. Around the same time, Fabrizio, an incredibly talented painter, was carving his route to success in Europe, in Italy. He was also determined to conquer the world. He had incredible objectives. His paintings were amazing. There was no doubt he was destined for major success. In Germany, Humbert, a middle-aged scriptwriter and movie director, was also en route to success. He was involved in several films, short films. He was also an actor, wrote lots of great scripts. He was somewhat known in the film industry, and a promising future awaited him, just like Fabrizio, just like me. And just like many of you will experience, after I graduated from university in 1998, I felt ready to conquer the world, to pursue my passion, to have the freedom to live my life my way or the highway. I was serious and focused on my objectives, and I clearly remember having three beliefs. The first one, the musical excellence would guarantee my success. That I was ready and prepared for it, and that I would reach my goals and objectives swiftly and sooner than later. 25 years later, I finally achieved it. I was deeply mistaken in my beliefs. And in all those years, I have learned a few things. You don't require amazing talent and amazing quality to be successful. You're not ready for success yet, and you ignore really the price that you have to pay to achieve it. It won't happen quickly. Success takes time, and it won't be easy. It will be harder than anything you can imagine, and I know you have a lot of imagination after you're musicians. But whatever you imagine, it will be harder. So I finished university, I got my degree, I had big goals and gigantic dreams. However, I had a big problem. I didn't know how to achieve my goals. I had no idea. I didn't know how to get a job in the music industry without any real experience. And like all of you will, I needed money. My conclusion, I enrolled in an IT course, studied multimedia, finished, and I thought I'm gonna get a job in IT because I need money. I need money to have fun, to live on my own, to buy equipment, to find my dreams. So I continued composing music for myself, learning about different styles, different rhythms, studying something, exploring software and hardware. I moved to Spain and I found an IT job. I quit that job and I found another IT job. I quit and I found another one, and you know the drill. I went from job to job in the IT industry because the IT industry pays, and I needed money. Beers are not free in Spain. I got comfortable, and that is one thing that is really dangerous. When you get comfortable, your dreams starts to slip away. Comfort is dangerous. I got comfortable of having money, stability, which is important, fun, just enjoying life. But that was not my dream. I was tired of working as an IT geek. I wanted to work as a composer, to make real music. But again, I didn't know how to get a job in anything related to audio. That was a big problem. I needed to pay rent. So I found the least responsible job I could find, teaching English privately, when my English was much better, of course. I just needed to buy time. And one day I found an English academy and they called me. I sent my curriculum as a teacher. And the owner was interested in my profile because I included my audio and music experience. And they were actually recording dialogues in English and French to support their English lessons. So I convinced him to build a small, tiny recording studio. I told him exactly what to buy, the hardware, the software, and I started to record dialogue for him. Sooner than later, I didn't have time to teach any more English, and I just record dialogues, added some sound effects and some ambiences just to give a better atmosphere and support the story lines that the dialogues were supposed to relate. So my problem was I didn't know how to get a job without any experience, and my solution was just include your audio and music experience in any curriculum you send to any type of job. Even if it's taxi driver, street sweeper, just include it, because you never know, really, you never know when an opportunity will come from. You know how. I never imagined I would begin to record. My first job in audio would be in an English academy. I would have never sent a curriculum there as a musician. In all the time, I kept sending my curriculum to video game companies, recording labels. I wanted to work as a composer. I didn't want to record dialogues forever. And I wanted to work as a composer, but I didn't know how to find a job. That was my second biggest challenge. Every time I applied for a video game music job, they said, sorry, you need experience. You need 2-3 years composing for games, show us your game titles you have, or you need 1 to 2 years editing audio in a video gaming company. I actually asked one of those companies, how am I going to get experience if you don't give me the job to get experience? And they say, sorry, but we don't have time to train people. We really need someone to come in and start producing really quickly. And that's a problem you will also find. That was a really big challenge. I didn't know what to do, really. What was first, the chicken or the egg? Around that time, Fabrizio, the Italian painter, came to Madrid and I met him. We were literally broke, both of us, and we had big dreams still. He was way more talented than me. I actually remember telling him, man, you're gonna become a millionaire. Your art is amazing. For some personal reasons, he had to leave Spain, and we just went our separate ways. Back in Germany, Humbert, the middle-aged script writer, had already won a few accolades for some of his work. He was slowly and surely moving towards his dreams. Luck seemed to be on his side. Many years later, our paths will actually cross. So I continued to compose music and send CVs to video game companies, cinema studios. At that time, I was working as in customer support over the phone. And that job doesn't really pay well. So I was struggling to make ends meet. I was getting deeper and deeper in debt. I really needed to get a better paid job. And I didn't see an easy way out because I didn't want responsibilities. Just like a fairy tale, I met a warm, caring, loving, and faithful woman who found a good-looking, strong, and young prince, me, in the shape of a frog. Broke, not wanting to work, and she kissed the frog. Now, this is not exactly a tip that I'm going to give you, but you can't really imagine the impact your loving partner can make in your life. She can really help you, she can help to propel you forward, or she can just help you dig a hole in the ground for yourself. I was sinking deeper and deeper in debt, and I had no choice. I had to start looking for an IT job once again. After several weeks of not finding anything, my girlfriend said to me, "Why don't you give me your user and password so I can send your CVs for you while you're at work?" I said, "Okay." And she did. A few weeks later, I realized that she was sending my CV to a job openings such as manager, CEO, COO, regional manager, IT vice president, and so forth. And I said to her, "Don't do that. I don't have that experience. Just send me my CV to this, and that kind of jobs with those requirements." And she, being my girlfriend, she didn't listen to me. My girlfriend was interested in security, in money. So she just kept sending those CVs to those impossible opportunities for me. Well, guess what happened? One of those jobs, one of those companies called me because they were looking for someone to fill a position that was not yet in the internet, had not yet been published. That was the company that was dedicated to create video slots. Video slot is a slot, you know what a slot machine is, like, how do you call it here? A poker machine, right? A poker machine is a physical machine in a casino. A video slot is like the internet version, online. So this is my tip number 2 to you, and this is really important. If you just send your CV to every company that you want to work for. Lucas Skywalker Sound, I don't know, Sony. Just send your CV because there are many job opportunities that will never be published online. They will just be internal. And just like me, it could happen to you. That someone sees your curriculum and says, "This guy is perfect for this job that has not been yet advertised." Just select the companies that you want to work in and send your CVs. What's going to happen? If they say no, nothing's going to happen. You should not worry about the no's. You just need one yes. That's all you need. So I got the job, and I worked there for 10 years. I started to program bingo games because I was a programmer. Video slots, video pokers, roulette games, and slowly the demand for music began to grow. So I actually had the opportunity to create the music and sound effects for their bingo games. I had never dreamt of doing that in my life. You know? I don't think you wake up one morning and you say, "I want to be a composer of video games. Of video slots. I want to create the best bingo music ever." No. But that was a chance. That was my chance. And it came really in strange ways. So I got this job for 10 years, and when I started to create the music for the bingo games, they later began to create video slot games, and I worked on more than 30 titles. Finally, I had begun to build my CV as a music composer with real experience, with real projects. While I was engrossed in this venture, in a different corner of Europe, Fabrizio was having fun at the beach. He was unwinding after several years of hard work. He had amassed more than 500 paintings he had painted. He relished his acceptance as a member of an exclusive art institution in Italy. This acceptance actually was a testament of his immense talent. I cannot reveal his identity, but his paintings are truly something else. His path to success was paved. Meanwhile, Hamburg, Germany, was enjoying one of those rare moments when luck is on your side and things happen effortlessly. He had won several awards in short films and worked in many other films. So after several years, the company that I was working for stopped creating video slots, and there was no more need for music. So I went back to IT positions in the same company. I was working this time in testing the games, testing the casino applications, online, and so on. So, once again, I had to resume my search for music opportunities because I didn't want to work in IT. I sent my CV to hundreds of places, and guess what? The video game companies were not interested in me because they wanted video gaming experience, and I only had video slot gaming experience. So I thought, well, if I have video slot experience, then I'm going to apply to video slot gaming companies and get another job as a composer. But back then, the industry in casino games was very different from now, and there weren't many jobs available at all. So once again, I felt lost. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't getting any job offers. A friend of mine told me about LinkedIn. Do you know LinkedIn? Yes? It's a professional social media for professionals. And that's how I started to invite contacts such as movie producers, movie directors, video game producers, video game artists, video slot game producers, just to grow my network. And I got to having 400 contacts. Back then, in 2019, I didn't have a powerful computer. I didn't have really good equipment. I didn't have the necessary tools I thought I needed to ensure my success, to create the quality I wanted. My girlfriend had heard me ranting about this many times, and one day I said to her, you know what, I'm gonna get a loan, and I'm just gonna buy everything I always have said that I need to create the quality I want, the quality that I know I can produce, and finally succeed. I approached many banks, and they all rejected me for some reason. Now, I told you that you cannot imagine what a positive impact your girlfriend or boyfriend can have in your life. They can literally change your fate. My girlfriend said to me, well, why don't I get a loan for you, give you the money, and then you pay to me slowly? I said, okay. And she did. And you have to understand that my girlfriend is like Uncle Scrooge. She hates loans, she hates credit cards, she just saves money and pays for what she can afford. And she invests also in several things, but she doesn't get loans at all. And despite this, she went to the bank and got a loan for me when I didn't have any big clients, when I was just promising a bright future and dreaming of achieving great objectives. She went to the bank and got a loan for me. And for that, I will always be grateful to her. So the problem was I didn't have money to buy the equipment I thought I needed to achieve success, and the solution was to get a girlfriend to pay for it. Beautiful, brilliant. That's not a piece of advice, by the way, but feel free to try. So, jokes apart. I had always complained that I didn't have the equipment I needed to create great music. Now I had it. So what was I going to do? I set to create the most incredible demo reel so that I could really create a burning desire in the hearts and minds of everyone who listened to it and finally get a job. Little did I know I was on the brink of encountering the most significant challenge that every artist has to face. I said to you, I was going to reveal to you the top 3 reasons why you fail. This is the first one, and the hardest to overcome. I began to create my demo reel, super amazing demo reel, and then I got distracted because I had an idea for another composition, another rhythm, another arrangement. So I stopped my demo reel and I said to myself, I need to record this idea because this could be the one that would, win an award for me. This will be a really life changer for me. So I stopped working on my demo reel and I started to work on something else. And now whether I got back and forth. After a few months, I hadn't really moved forward anything at all. I didn't know at that time, but I was working for my talent. I was the employee of my talent. I was under the command of my talent. My talent wanted me to do that, I did it. My talent didn't want me to do that, I didn't do it. Everything and anything my talent commanded me to do, I did, except my demo reel. So the number one reason why you will fail is because you will work for your talent. When you have to make your talent work for you, this will be really the number one reason why you will undoubtedly fail. So let me explain this much better. If you don't have money and someone offers you a job that you feel is beneath your talent and you don't take it, you are working for your talent. If you don't have money and you let down an opportunity to write music for kids when you really wanted to be the next John Williams, you're working for your talent. If someone offers you money when you don't have any to create a guitar composition in an Egyptian style when all you want to do is be the next blues king, you're working for your talent. If someone offers you an opportunity to work as a teacher for $90,000 a year and you just want to play in a big band and you have no money, you're working for your talent. It doesn't mean you have to quit your dreams. You just need to buy time. Grab your talent and make it work for you to make money. That's what I mean. You need money to live. You need money to buy time until the opportunity you're looking for presents in front of you, presents itself. Instead of sitting around working as a taxi driver, blaming your parents, blaming your wife, blaming your kids, blaming your country, blaming your university, blaming your teachers, blaming the world situation, blaming war, blaming everything except you. If you succumb to the demands of your talent, you will fail. So what can you do against that? This is my tip number 3. Sometimes when you're trying to change an aspect of your own personality, when you're trying to actually change yourself, it helps to give a face, a head, a body, arms and legs to that characteristic you want to change. Because after all, it is very hard for you to think, how can I change myself? If I am like this, how can I change myself? It's impossible. Could you put the lights on, please? So, if you give that characteristic you want to change from yourself, a head, a face, arms, legs, it will actually help you to think of this as an alien that has possessed you, or a spirit. You're trying to attack something that is not really part of you. So let me tell you what your talent looks like. Your talent is a kid of around 4 to 6 years old that will give you the most incredible tantrums, whether in public or in private, until you do what it wants you to do. Let me show you what your talent looks like.
No.
Thank you, Mitchell. Are you going to let that make decisions for you? She doesn't care about your mortgage. She doesn't care about your money. She doesn't care about you living on the streets. You cannot allow your talent to make decisions for you because all your talent wants is to have fun. That's all it wants. Back then, I didn't know anything about this. All I knew was I needed to make my demo reel. My girlfriend had got a loan from me. I had spent thousands of euros in equipment, and I was not working in my demo reel. So So I thought, have I been pretending all my life? Maybe I didn't have what it took to succeed, or maybe in secret I wanted to fail, really. Maybe I had been lying to myself all my life, and I was not going to let that happen. And you must not let that happen. So what did I do to fix this problem if I didn't know anything about this back then? I said to myself, I'm either going to work in my demo reel or watch TV. That's it. And nothing in between. It's not that I'm either going to work in my demo reel and or work or go out with my friends or go to the pub or do weights and exercise or read a book. No. Either work on my demo reel or watch TV. Nothing else. Wow, what did I do? I watched TV, of course. I watched TV and watched TV, you know, the classics, Rambo, Cobra, Predator, all that. And after a while, I began to feel guilty. I had all the equipment I ever wanted to have, a loan to pay, my girlfriend watching my back every day. Is your demo ready? Is your demo ready? I said, no. I'm thinking about it. And so I began to really feel bad, so I lifted my ass from the couch and went to work. And after 1 hour of working in my demo reel, guess what happened? I had another great idea of a new composition that could change my future, so I stopped working my demo reel and started working in this new composition idea I had in music, amazing melody. And after an hour, I realized what I was doing. So I turned off my computer and went to watch TV. This process went like this for 2 weeks until I felt so bad that every time I went to work in my demo, I spent a few more hours working my demo and watched a little bit less of TV. Eventually, I got to work 8 hours in my demo reel, and after a few months, I finished it. So, finally, that's how I turned my talent into my slave. I was making my talent work for me. I weakened my talent. I didn't feed him anything. It was either my way or the highway. And that's what you have to do. That's a great tip. So I finished my amazing demo reel and I contacted Ben. Ben was one of my 400 contacts in LinkedIn that I had contacted months ago. I sent to him my demo reel. He was a video slot game producer, and my demo reel was all about video slots. I actually hired one of the top 10 voiceover artists in Hollywood to narrate and story in my demo reel. I wanted to do something different, something that really created desire in the people that watch my demo. And his reply was instant. He said to me, Jorge, this is amazing, this is impressive. What are your rates? Do you charge by the minute or per asset? How long would it take to create music and effects for this video slot? Are you available? Man, that moment was really a victorious moment for myself. I had really done what I wanted to do, the way I wanted to do it. I had turned my vision for my demo reel into a reality, and I had gotten the results that I wanted. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment. I had made my talent work for me finally. This happened around June 2009. Anyway, I replied to Ben, and he said, I'll call you back with the details of the game so you can create a budget for me. But he didn't reply back. In 1, 2, 3 weeks went by, 4 weeks went by. I wrote to him, he didn't reply. I wrote to him to LinkedIn after 2 months, and he replied to me, and he said, sorry, I quit the company. So once again, I was frustrated. It had taken me a lot of time to convince someone and get this person to want to hire me, and he had quit the company. He said to me, I gave your details to the new game producer. If he is interested, he will contact you. So I waited and waited, and summer came by, went by, and I didn't get any reply. That was August, summer in Spain. So I was once again lost. I didn't know what to do. I was upset. I was thinking, why do I always have bad luck? But in November, he wrote to me. And he said, Jorge, we are looking for a sound designer to create the music for this video slot. I'm sending you an NDA to review and sign if you're interested. And after you sign it, we will send to you more details about the game for you to create a quote. And this is my next tip. If you're not familiar with legal stuff, legal jargon, and you have not dealt with many contracts, hire a lawyer to clarify all of your doubts. Preferably a lawyer familiar with IP, intellectual property, copyright, and music for entertainment. It's definitely worth the money, or you could regret it for the rest of your life. So I signed the NDA, I created the quote, and because I had been timing myself every time I worked on music for the previous games, I tracked how much time it took me to create a music soundtrack, every single type of sound effects, how much time it took me to talk with my client to get the feedback, to get the briefing. Because I have been timing that, I knew exactly how much time it would take me to create this new video game. So I knew that perfectly, and that's my next tip for you. You have to track everything you do, because that will help you to create quotes that make sense. I sent my quote to him, and I didn't get any reply back again. Christmas went by, almost a month went by, and on probably the 28th of December, he replied back to me. And his answer was an answer I haven't gotten again ever. He said to me, Jorge, thank you for creating this quote. I would like to let you know that we want to work with you in this project and hopefully in all of the projects of the year, despite the fact that you charge double of the other candidates. That was really an amazing answer. I've never gotten that answer before. When someone tells you, I want to work with you, even though you're too expensive, but we still want to work for you. So I really thought I had been doing what I had to do. I worked with that client for almost 7 years, and I created music and sound effects for video slots that were really amazing for the time. This client became a really well-known in the industry, and the portfolio that I created opened to me all the doors that followed. So that was really the opportunity that I had been looking for. Because I learned how to make my talent work for me. There are a few things that I learned there. I learned that every 400 contacts I made in LinkedIn, I got a new client. So I said, oh, okay, then if that's true, let's test it. It actually happened. Once I got to 4,000 contacts in LinkedIn, I had around 10 clients, 10 or 12 or 13 clients. But nothing lasts forever. So this client and I eventually went our different ways, and I decided to quit my daytime job, my IT job. I decided I really want to follow my passion and just dedicate all of my time to music. And this is the next tip I will give you, tip number 8. When is the right time for you to quit your daytime job? I actually learned this from a guy called Alex Hormozin. I didn't know anything about this back then, but it turned out I did exactly what he said. And he says, first, start making money on your own, freelance jobs. Then surpass your job salary. And then you realize that if you quit your daytime job, you will grow your business. So then you quit. That's how you do it. So I quit my job. I created my company, MADLORD, Sound from Beyond, the brand from the company. And I quit my job. I made it my sole source of income. And that is entirely a different ball game. It feels really like jumping with a knife to the jungle, and either you survive or die. It's brutal. It's merciless. At that time, I was not aware of that, but in order for me to compete at that level, I would have to transform myself into a new me. I would have to kill my old me to give birth to my new me. And that is something really hard to do, really hard to do. 3 years after creating my company, I said to my dad, I really didn't know what I was doing. This is so hard. So I created MADLORD, and I knew I had 2 more years of having these incredible clients. I couldn't find a new client at all. I went to an international fair in London, which is the biggest gambling fair in Europe. I spoke to many potential clients, but nothing came out of that. Another 6 months went by. It had been 1.5 years since I created MADLORD, and I couldn't find a single new client. I began to get really, really, really worried. I was going to run out of my savings. It was my house, it was my girlfriend. Everything would go to drain. In October, someone contacted me. Someone had mentioned to this person about me. I didn't know who this person was. I had a call with this potential client. That is important for you to do. Call them. Don't just write an email. Tell them, let's have a call and I will discuss this with you. I will clarify your questions. I will explain to you more about me and my work. Call them. It makes a big difference. I called them and nothing happened. A few weeks later, another person called me and he told me someone had told him about me. I don't know where from. And I couldn't close the deal again. At that moment, I was really frightened. I was in debt. I had no more income. And I couldn't find a single new client after 1 year and 8 months of creating my company. It was really frightening. All the alarm bells really started ringing in my body. It was either, I thought the next potential client that calls me or I approach, I have to close that deal, whatever I do. So I realized I had to get a sales course. I had no choice. I had to learn how to sell. I didn't like how to sell. I thought when you sell, you're lying to people. You're just screwing people around. Selling had really a bad image. But I took on a course. I paid for a 1-year course in sales. And I remember devouring every single lesson for 1 month. I mean, my life depended on learning how to sell. Another guy called me in early November. Someone had mentioned to him about MADLORD. Back then I realized, hey, probably going to that fair really worked because someone had saw me, I had spoken to someone, and I was actually in the memory of people. They would recommend me. So I spoke with this guy for 1 hour. I followed all the procedures of sales and I closed the deal. Finally, he was my first new client. In December 31st of that same year, I was having a call with another potential client at 10 p.m. I closed that deal, and the next year, I made 10 new clients. And as you know, the rest is history. And that's my next top reason why you will fail. If you don't learn how to sell, you have no chance. No chance, really. You're going to fail, absolutely. Learning how to sell is as crucial for humans as learning how to hunt for lions. If a lion loses its ability to hunt, it dies. And if you don't have an ability to sell, you don't survive. It's that simple. And so now let me give you some statistics for you. About 20% of new companies don't last 1 year. About 50% of new companies don't last any more than 5 years. And about 70% of companies, new companies, don't last more than 10 years. It is that tough. MADLORD has a bit more than 7 years. As for the third reason why you will fail, and this might not be so obvious to you, is that you really don't want to work. Musicians don't want to work. If you tell me that you practice your bass for 6 hours until your fingers begin to bleed, if you tell me you have a hole in your lip because you play the trumpet 6 hours a day, that's not work. If you like it, if you love it, that's not work. If you hate it, that's work. If you feel intimidated by it, if you avoid it, if you don't want to do it, that's work. In the first 6 years of MADLORD, I enjoy audio music activities for 60% of my time, and 40% of my time is ugly work that I have to do. If I don't do that, nothing happens. That's the number 3 reason why you will fail. The first one, if you work for your talent, you fail. You have to make your talent work for you. If you don't learn how to sell, you will fail. And if you don't want to work and do the hard things nobody else wants to do, you will fail. And my last tip number 10. If you feel stressed, anxious, if you feel uncomfortable, if you have no free time, it probably means you are growing. And that's a good thing. If you're wondering what happened to Fabrizio Humbert, Fabrizio is now 50 years old. He continues to paint every time his talent commands him to paint. He has painted about hundreds of new paintings. He doesn't know how to put a price to his paints. He's still broke and he lives with his mother. Humbert, now 60 years old, unfortunately ran out of luck. He continues to write like a maniac, amazing movie scripts that unfortunately make no money. He refuses to write scripts for any other genre and format other than his favorite. He refuses to look for any other means of making money. And he lives with his mother. So I came here today to tell you my story and reveal to you this secret. The dark and powerful forces that will make you fail. The top 3 reasons why you will fail. And now you know them, so what are you going to do? In the beginning, let me tell you, in the beginning, right now, where you are right now, everything looks bright. You feel you have opportunities, you have big ideas, big dreams, everything is possible. Once you get into the real world, into the real marketplace, the sky begins to get cloudy, it begins to continue to get darker and darker and gloomy, and you don't know what to do. And all you have to do then is just to continue to do something that moves you forward. If you quit, it's over. Just do anything that moves you forward. Anything at all. Just don't quit. What you're basically doing is you're buying time until the opportunity you are looking for presents itself in front of you. And when that opportunity comes, give all you have. Give all you have all the time. Don't save your best ideas for a bigger client. Don't save your best performance for Carnegie Hall. Give everything you have all the time. And in 3 years, you will look back and realize that you have a portfolio that is actually good and that will open the doors you are waiting for. Give everything you have all the time. Years will go by and you will begin to look the light at the end of the tunnel. You will get closer to the opportunity you're looking for. And the rest will be history. One day you will remember this wonderful university where it all began. And offer yourself to come here and tell your story, to let young musicians your secrets, to reveal young musicians that success is not only possible, but is within your reach. And share with them your own secrets to success. Thank you. If you have any questions, I think we still have a few minutes. Yes?
Thank you for your insight. Did you ever pay back your girlfriend?
The first project that I got with this important client paid for all of it,
Excellent.
which means I didn't have to pay any interest. Any other question? Whenever you meet someone that has achieved what you have achieved, ask questions. There must be something that you want to know. I mean, if someone has achieved something, don't you want to know how to achieve your dreams? Ask anything.
What was your first instrument, Jorge?
The organ, then the piano, then the saxophone, then the guitar, then the trumpet, and the congas, and the bass. And now my house has no more space for instruments.
And I want to know what platform you use, what DAW you use to
I use Nuendo.
you end
I used to use Cubase, but that's all you need really. Yes.
Would you take a job as like, I don't know, like for me, like gambling, I don't really like gambling, so I don't know if like, because it's like my principles kind of support that. Have you ever like came across that? Like
Your principals don't care about your mortgage. In time, your principals, you will realize it's part of your talent. They will weaken when you have to pay your mortgage, when you have one more month to live in a house and then you will have to live on the streets. That's when you will come to face reality. But why you wouldn't work in gambling? What are your principles?
it's like, and I'm not just, so like, gambling, just like, not
Not really, right. It's evil, right? Now, in this day and age, there are many mechanisms to avoid people from losing all of their money or to bet more than they need. But if you think about it, gambling is no different than going to a restaurant. You go to a restaurant, you eat, and next day, most of it is down the drain. So people really go to gamble to have fun. And there are a few people that have real problems, but there are people that have problems in any industry. So you shouldn't make a decision based on the people that have problems. No, it is entertainment and it's a great opportunity to learn hundreds of different music styles. I feel it has been the best university for me of music genres. I have composed music, Egyptian music, Arabic music, Chinese, Javanese, Japanese, Indian, South American, Latin, mambo, blues, epic stuff, fantasy stuff, music from Tonga, music from Greece, big band. I mean, you really learn a lot and become really versatile. That will open you doors, really.
And I wanted to say, would you take a gig in Las Vegas? If someone said, I'll give you a week in Las Vegas, would you take it?
yeah, it's,
You know, the whole town spends on gambling. The whole town.
yeah, well, said, yeah.
Yes.
I know that you dealt with it a little bit, but I am always confused about how much to charge.
Right. What I did is, like I said to you, I tracked my time. What it takes me to create a draft of a song, or a 2-minute track, or a 30-second music, right? You track everything you do so that you have those numbers to find out how long it takes you. That's half of the problem. The other half of the problem is how much to charge per hour, your hour, right? That's the other half. What I did back then is I just thought how much a regular IT freelancer would charge. And that's what I did. And that's why I was so expensive. But I had quality, so they like it. Later on, I realized how to fine-tune that and actually changed it. But that's one step you need to take. I forgot what I was saying. Actually, do you have two more minutes? Yes? Let me show you what slow machines can do these days. This is one project with the Egyptian theme. Egyptian themes are really popular in gambling in Europe. It was called Golden Osiris. And this is one of the music I called The Secret Treasure of Osiris. Did you like it? So just take a chance. Just take a chance. Just take any job you can do. Make your talent work for you. Don't be discouraged by your principals, because at this age, you may be wrong about them. And they're definitely going to change.
Please thank Jorge.
Thank you.